And welcome to the True Patriot podcast, folks. We are here November 28th, episode 4 of season 3. Thank you for joining us again. This one might be a little bit shorter than some of the normal ones here. 'Tis the holiday season, so we're kind of buzzing through a couple things. We just wanted to touch on a couple of deals out there. And just kind of share some information here during our quote-unquote off-season, if you will. I hope everybody, before we get rolling here, I hope everyone had a fantastic Thanksgiving. We had an amazing event there at Veterans Day at Shields in Johnstown, Colorado. Just everybody involved, all the nonprofits we connected with to expand our network here and just talk and share the mission and create some fellowship out there, and of course, above all, the healing that we saw take place firsthand. I mean, that is why we do this. I had this distinct pleasure at one of the rarities that our schedules combine together and locations work out. My wife, Julie, was able to come up and join us through a ton of that, which was amazing and awesome. She is a massive supporter of our mission, and of course, giving me the resources and time to be able to do what we do here. So that was super, super cool that we got to do that. As we say at Romans, this is a family event. This is a family organization. Family comes before anything. And we at the Romans Warrior Foundation are one gigantic family that, I shouldn't say gigantic, but one big one. We grow every time we go out and expand our network there. The family just continues to grow. A special shout out to Operation Equine, Miss Michelle Kay, who joined us throughout the majority of those events there. She's working her way through some scheduling challenges, and she still found a way to cut out time and come join us and partake in a lot of the festivities there and help make sure those events went off without a hitch. And so we're excited about 2023, working with Operation Equine even further. If you haven't had a chance, get out and check them out, operationequine.org. Go check out that deal there. Well, like I said, we consider now Michelle part of our family, and Operation Equine is a straight partner of ours out there that we're working together to try to bring some relief where it's needed. So, as some of you may remember from previous deals, we made the announcement that we are unofficially Team New Canoe. And I should say it's more official than it is unofficial. We're just in kind of an awkward situation out here in the Rocky Mountain region, in that we do have a dealer. He's a fantastic dealer, Rocky Mountain Fishing Kayaks. Great guy. He's got some inventory on hand. But I will say it's not a brick and mortar location, so it's not like we have a shop that we can go to like many others of the Team New Canoe. And with Team New Canoe, our major focus, especially going forward, it always has been, but we're really emphasizing it for the end of this year and the beginning and all of next season, is really working with our local dealers on an intricate level. We want to help them, obviously, get information out to the public about New Canoe and why we are so loyal to them as a company and why we love the product so much in what we do out there. And by we, I mean not just the True Patriot Outfitters, but also all of Team New Canoe across the nation. For whatever reason, there just hasn't been a lot of traction in the Rocky Mountain region. I think probably a lot of that springs from when people think Colorado and the Rocky Mountains, they think whitewater, right? And so when you think kayak, you're thinking, the whitewater kayaking. At New Canoe, our whole area is specialized around hunting and fishing. That's what New Canoe builds their kayaks for. Now, can you use them for recreational paddling out on the lake? Absolutely. We have a lot of models that you can go do that with. But our number one is hunting and fishing. And that's what these awesome boats are made for. And that's what the accessories are built around. Our philosophy is that of allowing you to customize your kayak to suit your needs. I got to tell you, as a tournament angler, man, this is one of the things that really caught my attention. Of course, the quality, of course, the support, and of course, the stability. You know, these were all our priorities last year when we were, getting our rookie feet wet going into it. But man, the piece about that was allowing me to customize it to really fit and make this transition from the bass boat world over to the kayaks, that was so important to me. And I wanted to make sure that whoever we lined up with, could support that for me and could give me that. Well, I found that home at New Canoe. Now, I've had the privilege and honor to work with the owner of this company on several phone calls, and we actually interviewed him on the podcast here, Mr. Blake Young. And I can tell you, folks, and I put my name behind this 100%. Working with a company that is run by good people with their heart in the right area. Now, are they a business and they're here to make, create revenue? And of course they are. Let's not be, there's no reason to be naive about it. But as I go up in age, there are some times where you're going to be forced to make decisions with your business that may not be the best revenue generators, but they're the right thing to do for your customers and for your employees. And that is Team New Canoe. That is New Canoe as a company, as a whole. I've seen it firsthand. I've witnessed it. I heard stories prior. I've seen it. This is a good company that's run by some amazing people on the inside. Anytime we need parts and supplies that I couldn't get locally, I got them from those guys, from the New Canoe, main headquarters, shipped to me super fast, reasonable pricing. I'm telling you, it was something that made me feel really good about. Now, as we go into the 2023 season, obviously, we're looking to expand the New Canoe footprint here in the Rocky Mountain region. And that's going to be part of our job here, is to help try to do that. If we can't figure out the normal path, then we'll just have to get creative with it. But first and foremost, what I wanted to do is, for those of you who've not had an opportunity, just in kayaks in general, or if you are a kayaker and you're watching or listening to this, I wanted to, for the video portion here, I just wanted to take you to the website so you can see just a couple of the things. It's a very big website with a lot of great information, video tutorials, manuals available, all the information you need to see there. But I just wanted to share with you briefly New Canoe and what separates us, what makes us unique, and why we feel so strongly about the brand and the things that we get into. So without further ado, let's take you over to the website here at newcanoe.com. One of the first things that you'll notice when you get here is the versatility piece of the New Canoe models that we have out there. There's the Flint, the F10, the Frontier, the Unlimited, the Pursuit. We got some Mossy Oak editions and some old classics that are out there. The Flints right now, the New Canoe's got a lot of good sales going on. The Flints and the F10 are a little bit smaller kayaks. They're in that 10-foot range there, and man, super cool. I've heard a lot of good things. The F10 is one we want to test out. I've not had that opportunity yet, but I'm looking forward to doing so. I want to take it out and have a run with it. This thing is like a 10-foot, a little over 10-foot boat. Take you to it here, and it's 39 inches wide, dude. That is some impressive little stuff. This little dude here, super stable for a 10-footer. And man, you can customize this thing out from top to bottom. It's built it's built for rivers. Super accessible as far as, different options for storage that you have in this thing. It gives you that ability to get back in those areas that other guys are not going to be able to get to. You can mount the XI3 to this thing off the front end, or you can mount the EPS motor off the back. It's got a place back here for battery placement. You can get that NK180 on there from Newport. or one of your Torqeedos. You can slap that the little guy on that, and you're off and running, man. This little thing, it looks, like I said, it's the dimensions on this thing, when you look at the specs, are really, really impressive. 10 foot, 39 inch wide, 12 to 17 inch, drafting at 3 to 5 inches. Dude, I'm telling you, that's pretty impressive right there. And you're talking about a max weight on this little guy of 500 pounds. I mean, that's pretty darn impressive from what I'm seeing. She probably isn't going to be the fastest thing out there on the water, but nevertheless, you're going to be able to get back in some places, and it's going to be extremely, extremely stable for you. That's just one of the deals out there. Of course, the one we're running with is the flagship for New Canoe, is the Unlimited. That is one that we have. This thing is battle tested, man. I have put this thing through the ropes last year. She comes in at 12.6, 41 inch wide. It's got that extra transducer pod location here that you can put in. We got a 650 pound capacity off of this bad boy. And I'm telling you, you can actually run this thing tandem. You'd have to, knock your seat back there and move the second one into place here. But you can literally, there's a lot of people that do run the Unlimited tandem, so 2 people running through there. This thing is a battleship, bro. I mean, there is so much track on this critter to be able to outfit it. And as always, it's paddle, pedal, or power. And one of the pieces that I really wanted to talk about and really push on is in the power side. If you look at the industry as a whole and where it's going, there are more and more companies that are investing more and more resource and time into creating propulsion units for kayaks. On the competitive side of things, and in general, there are more and more people engaging into the propulsion side. It's you just can't. You may not like it. You may want to consider something else there, or try to find other information that supports a different narrative. But the fact of the matter is, companies are dropping new products all the time. None better than Newport Vessel. Newport Vessel has just released its 36 volt, and they're about to share the kayak version. They introduced the NT300, which was a 3 horsepower electric, almost outboard, if you will. But it is an electric trolling motor, and it was made for, kicking up just that extra thrust and extra power. Well, they just announced through their social media pieces, they've got the NK, and that K stands for kayak. NK 300 is coming. It's a 36 volt. It's very similar to Torqeedo's big, motor they have, their line that they have with the 3 horsepower motor. So that's going to be 2 players out there. You're going to have Torqeedo with the smaller motor and the bigger motor, and you're going to have Newport with the smaller motor and the bigger motor. I personally have the NK 180, which is the smaller motor in Newport, and loved it. It's a 24 volt system. I ran a 54 or a 50 amp hour battery on that, and I got to tell you, never come close to running it down through pre-fishing or tournament. And that was, the time that I was running that bad boy there. And there's a lot about that transom mount, stern power that I really, really miss. But I will say that having my XI3 up on the front with that GPS is pretty tough to beat, especially, when you get in current or the wind's blowing. You have that ability to mash that spot lock, dude, or that anchor mode, or whatever you want to call it. And just it holds you, in relative space there so that you can do what you need to do with your gear and get back to fishing again. That is pretty tough to beat, I gotta say. Really gotta say. So, any rate, that's one of the areas where you will find that New Canoe will flat out outperform the competition, in my personal opinion. With us, we have, when you buy a Newport, an NK like 180, it comes with its own mounting hardware. But you'll notice in all these pictures here, we have our own mounting hardware. Because what we've done here at New Canoe is we've had the ability now, you'll see this little cable running right here. We've added in a steering option so you don't need that triangle deal with all the cables running all over the place. It's a singular cable attachment on our quick connect system that allows you to not only quickly, connect and disconnect the motor itself, completely here, but you can also, the standard steering just is right here, the hand steering option. The one that we went to that I absolutely love is that foot steering. Just like a trolling motor, it's toe and heel, man. And that one cable runs all the way back right here, connects up into there. And as you can see for the storing option, it's a cotter pin, man. You pop that cotter pin right there and bang, that thing is stowed and you are traveling with it. Add your retract cable in there and you're off and running. The electronic throttle, they've got one mounted right here to the miles of track that we have in the Unlimited. Me personally, I mounted mine right to the seat. I have a video out there. Just search through our YouTube videos for Newport throttle, and you'll find that one located out there where I mounted this throttle assembly piece right to my seat, because my seat is it's the 360 Fusion seat. So as I rotate, the throttle comes with me, so I don't have to reach back over or risk bumping into it with my knee or whatever. It sticks with me the whole time, so it's quick and easy access for me. But yeah, man, the EPS system with the quick connect setup on this thing is pretty impressive. We loved it. The time that we were running it and the times that I do get to take it out, it's a ton of fun. The kayak controls really well with that. The other options that we have in here, and again, this is where that customization, all of our accessories that come with NuCanoe are built around getting you the ability to kind of customize this bad boy how you want it. And doing, what you need to do to really make it more comfortable for you. This is how we run ours, is with the XI3 off the front. This guy's got his battery up here. I actually run it from back here. I've got the NuCanoe has pre-molded areas for through hull wiring. So I basically hit there and snaked it up to the front. And so I just plug the trolling motor in up here at the front, and my power is back here to balance out my weight and get my weight distribution just right. So again, all with accessories. We have a specific mounting accessory here that literally takes the place of the molded handle that we have. You just pop that handle off, and this lower bracket mounts straight on that. So you got 3 points of attachment to give you the ultimate stability on your motor. Once that's on there, you mount the quick from Motor Guide. You mount its quick connect plate to the top of that. So then literally it's just pulling that big horseshoe-shaped clip right there. You pop that and the whole motor can come off once you unplug. It's super slick. It makes it easy for transport. You take care of your gear that way. Nothing's getting beat up. And it's quick on the water, quick off the water, which was very important to us. And again, man, I'm telling you, this is where we feel strongly about the fact that in the customization, the ability to make these kayaks, fit to you, the stabilization, the quality, and of course the power capabilities. Whether you want to do bow mount or EPS or Torqeedo on the back, whichever one that suits your, budget and suits your preferences on there. We have the system for it. The Torqeedo system is the same as the EPS in that you can use our quick connect system to mount that Torqeedo motor on there, those brushless motors. And as you can see, through here, this allows the quick connect system to be put in there. You don't need all this extra cabling and all these extra, not that these are bad, but definitely our system is much better. There's less cabling. It's a lot cleaner. And it fits right, of course, right to the NuCanoe, models. Be it if you have the Frontier, which is our former flagship. There's been a lot of hunting, a lot of fishing that's been done out of that Frontier around the U.S. And you combine these things, you can get the quick connect foots set up here, and you got our entire mounting set up here as well. All these things are options that you can pick up right from the NuCanoe or your local dealer. They'll get you set up there. And you can see the different options. The 403s, that's equated to basically the Newport 180. Now, one of the things I personally like about the Newport stuff a little bit more than the Torqeedo is the fact that I'm able to attach my own power. Newports don't come with that power pre-set up like a lot of the Torqeedos do. They have that own, battery that basically comes with it. Me personally, I love and utilize and trust Amped Outdoors. Amped Outdoors, their lithium batteries are, just off the charts for me. I have been unbelievably impressed with their quality, the weight, the durability, the longevity of these things. Last season, man, they never let me down. And so that personally has been something that I do appreciate about the Newports a little more over that. There's also this other piece that a lot of other kayaks can't, get involved in. And that basically, once we get to it here, have to bear with us. We're having a little technical difficulties here. We'll come back over here. There we go. We'll come back over here until that loads back up. Is the ability to put a gas-powered motor, man. We set up outboard power. We sell, directly through our site. We have some of the Hondas that we put on there. And this is, for certain applications, some guys want to go that route. And that thing will scoot you right across the water. Here we go. It's up now. So outboard power, we have that ability to put a Honda 2.3 outboard motor on that short shaft. You can hook this thing up. These are obviously estimates. Speeds up to 7 mile per hour, around 7 miles in one tank. Easy to install, set up, and operate. This thing is easy on, easy off with our transom quick connect brackets on the back. Again, all part of the NuCanoe, motor assembly pieces. You put that outboard motor bracket on there. It reinforces the tail end of this bad boy, and you're off and running, man. This thing will get you scooting all over. Reasonably priced, around that $1,000 range for that little motor, and off you go, up rivers or anything else. One of the other things that a lot of people don't realize is on the EPS or these motors here, there's a quick, actually on the EPS motors especially, I guess for sure, I can't speak to this one, but the EPS motors have a quick release on the back that in case you hit a log or stump, it's going to basically pop loose there and not hang you up. The motor is going to bounce. It'll pop loose from that bracket there and pop up so that it doesn't damage the motor, doesn't damage your kayak, doesn't, put you in a goofy situation. It's just going to pop up there and you're going to know you hit something, obviously. And then once it comes back down, you're locked and loaded and away you go. That is a super cool little feature that's on these bad boys. Trying to see if we can show a picture of it. It's not real close, but it's right in here. This whole piece here, this whole arm basically will pop free. Should you hit something on that lower end, that whole thing is going to pop free there and keep you safe and sound when you're running around. So point about this is there has been a ton of thought and effort that's gone into the NuCanoe brand when it comes to the accessories and the propulsion units. There's a lot of great kayaks that are out there. There's no question about that. But the deal, with NuCanoe that we've loved so much about it is that these are quality kayaks at a fair price. You're not going to have to spend an arm and a leg, and you're going to customize this rig to be just yours. There's not going to be any two, kayaks out there that are the very exact same. It's one of those things that you get to customize this, and then if you start fishing one way and you don't like something, you want to change it, it's so easy to change the configuration in this with all the track that's available on all of our models, especially the Unlimited. That's a major one here. Out at the website, you'll find a support portal for owners. You get free replacement like screws and little clips and things like that. If you break something like that and you're a NuCanoe owner and you've registered your kayak through the site, they'll send out these replacement parts to you free of charge. They'll make sure that you get, some of those back. If you snap your, or secure, strap off of there, whatever, it gets old, gets dry rotted or whatever and snaps off. If you've registered and gone through and set yourself up at their website, then boom, you're going to get that, thing replaced. If you snap one of these clips off, or whatever, the retraction clip, you're going to get those sent to you there as part of being, in the family with Team NuCanoe. And that is a huge bonus as well. It stands to show that New Canoe stands behind their products. So if you get a chance, come out here and check out the website, man. You're like I said, if you are in the Colorado area and you ever want to go for a demo ride, I've got unlimiteds available, and I've got the working agreement with the Romans Warrior Foundation that we can take them out on a demo situation there. We can utilize these. Romans Warrior Field Ops Division owns those kayaks, but they're allowing me to basically take somebody out with those for the purpose of demoing. So one of these unlimiteds, if you want to take a look at it, I've got the XI3 power. I've got the pedal power. If that's your cup of tea, you can paddle with the bad boy, or I've got the motorized EPS as well. So any one of those options you want to take a look at, we can scope it and hook it up to the kayak and get you rolling out there. So I have been, like I said, extremely impressed with them from day one, and I know you will be too. If hunting or fishing is your thing and that's what you're looking to do, this is why New Canoe is, to me, is just the obvious choice. I absolutely love that piece there, and so we're gonna keep rolling with them. We're excited about 2023. See what comes around the corner. Hopefully, we got some cool news we're going to be sharing here in the next 30 days or so about some New Canoe stuff that's going down in the Rocky Mountain region here that we're trying to put together. So we'll see what comes out of all that. So. Listen, folks, we are going to take a quick break here. And with this quick break, I wanted to share just a little snippet, if you will, of one of the reviews that we did. 13 Fishing was a company that I wanted to test out some of the lines. Now, let's be honest. I've heard a lot of, negatives and positives about 13 Fishing out there. 13 Fishing has rods from like $29 all the way to $300. So they have a long list of product offerings out there. And I've often wondered about that. It's like, well, what ones are getting a bad rep for this or that? Or maybe folks are buying a $30, $40 rod and expecting it to operate like a $150 rod. And unfortunately, that happens a lot, especially in the fishing industry. People, want big bang, biggest bang for their buck. But you have to have some reasonability, right? I mean, you gotta think about it. There's a reason why some of these cost a lot more. And if they're going to make them a little bit more affordable, they have to give up on some other areas to make the cost, worthwhile. And so we tested out several lines of their product last year. And I got to tell you, man, I was blown away. Absolutely love them. And so we're going to be running with those for sure and rolling those bad boys down the line and enjoying every minute of it. So hopefully we can get a chance to work with 13 a little bit deeper, but we'll have to just wait and see how that all pans out, and see if that comes to fruition. If not, we're using them no matter how you paint it. I'm going to be using those rods for sure exclusively next year. That'll be all that's in the kayak for us for sure. So stick with us. I hope you enjoyed this little quick, like I said, it's not the full review, just a little quick snippet of the review, and then we'll be right back with some other cool news that we want to share with you. Moving forward, it's important that you understand 13 Fishing does not sponsor me. I am not a pro staffer for them. This is just an honest review of the rods that I found out there that I used this last season that made my job a heck of a lot easier. So without further ado, I wanted to go over them, man. Let's start with let's start with one of the cranking rods here. So one of the rods that we tested out is a 7'6" moderate fast tip, medium heavy power. This is basically what I use for cranking and frogging. Okay, this is a deep crank rod that I can. That 7'6" rod really helps me get distance out there. It gets me clear the heck out there. When I'm frogging, what this helps me do is really pick up and cover a lot of ground quickly with a very short movement of the rod. In the kayak, that's super important. One other factor about from kayaking why I chose this, that moderate fast tip. It's parabolic enough, moderate, it's got enough give up at the top there that helps me with deflecting the crankbait off of things or pulling a frog through and giving me just ever so much a delay that I'm looking for when I'm hook setting. Excuse me. But it's the moderate fast, so it's a little bit stiffer than just a straight moderate bend would be. And from a kayak, to me, that's just very important. The extra length on the rod and then that moderate fast tips really helps me in the hook set department coming from a kayak. Like I said, this is the Muse line. Muse, I believe Muse Black. It's 7.6, moderate fast, medium heavy. Absolutely love this rod. This thing, man, I can bomb things out there. The reel seats on these things, you'll notice they have the skeletal reel seats. So what that allows, if you can see right here, that's the blank itself. So when I'm holding this finger here, I can actually still maintain contact with the blank. And what that allows you to do is, with the right line combination, that sensitivity piece, I can feel when there's little ticks or bumps. When I'm bouncing off of things, or if I'm getting just a little, like a short strike or whatever, I can actually feel that through the blank. And that's how I basically hold this basically here. That reel seat was very important to me. It has the EVA grip, which I was very pleased with. That's my normal go-to is the EVA, what I prefer. And relatively speaking, not a super long butt there, but it fits in my arm perfect, where I basically like to, let me move this so you can see, where the distance that it fits is right in that whole forearm piece there for me. So when I'm winging this thing way out there and I'm reeling back, I can get this right in there. But if I need to for space or whatever, when I'm reeling, I can actually pick it up and over, and bring her back there if I need to rip this thing through the grass, or if I'm looking for a little, just a pop, different cadence on the crankbait or whatever. But yes, I highly recommend it. If you're looking for a good casting rod, if you're looking for a good frogging rod, it's 36T is the rating. That's basically 36 tonnage on the blank itself. So not super high end. Excuse me. Not super high end like some of the 50s or 60s out there. But what that assures is that the blank and everything inside here is going to be nice and strong for you here. So to me, it was just a good balance of the two. And for the price point that they're offering the Muse for, it's tough to beat. I want to say it's in the $200 range in retail. Highly recommend the Muse. So we were very happy with that. We got a pair of those. We're going to keep using those. Next in the line would be the Omen Gold. This is a brand new series that came out. This is a spin casting rod that they put out here. The Omen line is a line that's the last rod I want to show you. It's kind of my new favorite, if you will. But this is the Omen Gold in spin cast. This is a 6'9" fast tip medium power. I use this, as you can see, I've got a drop shot rigged up on it right now. I was using it with that. I'm kind of, be honest with you, I'm undecided on that, whether or not that I like the action. I like the sensitivity. I was able to feel quite a bit from this bad boy here. It's got a little bit thicker butt handle to it as far as the blank is concerned, and I appreciate that quite a bit. It provides a little bit better balance in my hand when I'm out there, fishing with this bad boy. But the 6'9", really a big fan of that. That medium power with the fast tip, I get a nice fast hook set on this bad boy, so that I can, it doesn't take much, for me to get a hook set, either if I'm Ned rigging or if I'm drop shotting, or if we're throwing extra small baits, like quite a bit. This last season, I was throwing some very small mini buzz baits from Strike King, the mini buzz, and this rod right here was my choice, because it just allowed, even though it's a extra fast tip, the lighter gear, this medium power allowed me to wing that thing out there really accurately, and I could pull this back. I also threw Wacky Rig on this a few times. It worked out pretty well. It's just a really all-around versatile setup, and for spin casting, and I really appreciate that. I've engaged spin casting rods far more now that I'm in the kayak game than I ever did from a boat. And also the fact that I'm fishing out in Colorado, so that really does help, because we have to reduce down a lot of our bait size out here to really be effective. So, Omen Gold, I'm going to be straightforward and honest. I don't know what price point this goes for. I know it's not super expensive. That's just not my deal. I'm not one of those guys that goes out and puts $500-600 rods in the boat. Hey, if a company out there wants to sponsor us and hand me those, I might put a few in there, but I'm still going to be shaking like a cat crapping razor blades out there. for the simple fact that I just am not one for super expensive rods out there. It just doesn't, for me personally, it just doesn't make that big of a difference. I feel in my approach to it. I believe in good equipment, performance equipment, and affordable equipment, and that's what we run. And these Omen Gold certainly fall into that line. And welcome back. Hope you liked that little review there. Like I said, a little snippet. If you want to see the full, just go ahead and go to our YouTube channel. Make sure you smash that subscribe button and just search 13 Fishing, and you should find that video right in our library. And you can see the full review of the lines that we worked with. Like I said, quality, price point, performance, and durability. That's what we loved about 13. And I got to tell you, I called their customer service line when we were considering doing some testing with these. I didn't know that because they have so many different lines, I wanted to see what was going to, suit the bill for us in a kayak, because with kayak fishing and bass fishing, there's a few requirements that I need that are a little bit different than what I used in a bass boat from the rods and so forth that I use. So I wanted to know that I was on the right line, you know what I mean? Because they have so many different product lines. Their customer support was phenomenal, man. They spent the time with me, and we narrowed down to those lines, those model lines that you see me reviewing there. Those were the ones they suggested, and man, they just hit the nail right on the head. They delivered exactly what they said they were going to deliver. That means a lot, man. That means a lot. If we're gonna give kudos to a company out there, I take that very, very personal. It's not just about the sponsorship and endorsement. I'll be the first to tell you, these are companies that sponsor us and help us with the mission, that we have with Roman's Warrior Foundation. Then I'll be straightforward and say these are companies that I actually trust and use when I'm on the tournament trail out there. And for those of you unaware, when you're on a trail, multiple trails and driving around the country, you don't have unlimited resources available to you. You got to trust the gear that you have. The last thing I can afford when I'm on the water competing against the best kayak anglers in the world is to have a thought in the back of my head that something is going to fail on me or isn't going to deliver. No, I need to know and have trust in that so that I can focus on the job at hand and get her done. And so 13 Fishing right now has my thumbs up through and through, man. I've been pretty impressed with what I've tested of theirs. And in full disclosure, I did not get a lot of work in with a couple of the reels that I took a look at, but I will say there was a couple lines there that until I have full data, I don't want to say what lines those were, but I was not really blown away, in all honesty. They were kind of I may have bought the wrong price point or the wrong reels for what I was trying to do, but they just didn't super impress. The rods, on the other hand, blew me out of the water, but maybe I need to speak with them a little bit more in depth about the reels to make sure that I'm buying the right stuff for what I'm trying to do with it. So, and once we have full information on that, then I'll give a full honest review on some of those, but I don't want to mess something up and misspeak about details on that. So, at any rate, we are going to switch gears a little bit here. There's not a whole lot in the fishing news to share out there, dude. Other than this is what I've gleaned, from the past couple weeks. Still waiting on Bassmaster to release the kayak schedule. Anxiously awaiting that one. Got some information through a couple channels. I've got an idea maybe of some of the lakes that we're going to go to. And bro, I got to tell you, I am freaking stoked. To the point that we need to wait till we see that schedule before we can really lock down. So that's going to be December, January before we're going to know 100% what our schedule is going to look like for next season. A little later than I would prefer, but kind of is what it is. We want to make sure we're doing this right. I really, really personally feel that right now for media reach and exposure piece, I do believe Bass has the biggest I guess, reach out there right now. Hobie certainly has the dollar amounts, but again, my feelings on that. Until they allow motors in competition, not just practice, I'm not going to concern myself with them. To be honest with you, I just don't think it's a full gauge. People got to start seeing the writing on the wall, man. There's too many companies out there pouring money into the propulsion side of things to turn a blank head from this. On the tournament side of fishing, and kayak bass fishing, I should say, motors are just a part of our sport, and they should be. I understand Hobie's, view on that stuff, but in the meantime, I'm looking at all the other trails out there that permit it, that are out there. And for me, the three other most linear, names in the professional ranks of KBF, All-American Kayak Series, and Bass, all accept motors for competition day. There's really no reason not to. It changes the game, but it doesn't create an advantage-disadvantage piece. We've proven that. Shoot, man, the Colorado Kayak Bassmasters, our angler of the year who put a schooling on out there, no motor on his kayak whatsoever. And it proves, that no, it's not an advantage, but it certainly does allow the angler to fish the way they want to fish. If I want to get to a spot, if I want to feel a little bit safer in case the winds do pick up and I have motorized ability to get where I need to get, then yeah, that's what I want. That's what I'm looking for. So anyway, so we're waiting for the bass schedule to come out, man. Once they release that, dates and all that good stuff, then, man, it's game on. We'll get our schedule locked in. We'll make that announcement. We'll do a podcast where we'll go through that completely and talk about the upcoming schedule and the lakes and the places that we're going to go. It looks to be really, really exciting. So we're anxious for that to come down. Other news, MLF ticking off a lot of anglers and some officials, reading through some of the social media posts that's out there. We could call it growing pains, but I gotta be honest, man. Anybody who knows me knows I have been a supporter of the MLF from day one. And the reason that is the case is because I have viewed this from the angler's point of view. The anglers left the FLW. The anglers left Bass to create, the tournament series of the Bass Pro Tour underneath the Major League Fishing name and shield. And they did that not in a spur of the moment thing. You do your history, do your research and the stuff out there, and you can go back to as early as 1999. You can go back there to then where you had anglers complaining about pay, complaining about wanting to know where these monies were going, that was going in, and wanting to have a little bit more say as to what the schedules do out there. So I've always supported this piece because it's come from the angler's point of view. And I love the true conservation that the MLF, is actually doing. Boots on the ground, doing something about it with that catch, weigh, release format. That is a huge, huge impact that really helps protect our fisheries. And so I've always been in support, but I gotta say, a couple of these adjustments they're making, like with how they realigned these divisions so that now the pro circuit is an invitational. So and they openly are saying it's a AAA format, but it's a $5,000 event AAA format. Come on. The Toyota series was the AAA format, right? It was equated to that of the Bass Opens. And these were just under $2,000 an event, to get into these things. But what we have are the Toyota series now considered the AA? What is the Toyota series now? Why? It's your way to get in so you can spend even more money. This does not seem angler friendly. This does not seem to be built with the grassroots in mind and the anglers in mind. This seems to only benefit the upper end, which was one of the complaints and why the anglers left Bass in the beginning and FLW in the beginning. So I don't know, man. I really don't know where I'm sitting with this. And I'm actually, I got to be honest, I'm really glad I'm not involved in that section anymore. I feel really bad for all my buddies and all my friends that are still in that are still chasing that dream, that are still out there, at least, even just fishing at that level. It's one of these things that it's like, man, can we get even more expense thrown at us to try and chase this thing down? I hate when these type of competition pieces are separated by a financial, and so, financial, economic, borders and hurdles. this isn't a judge then of true talent. This is a judge of who's got the resources available to them, at a given time. And that's just a crappy deal. So really would like to see continued that they rework some stuff, and hopefully they do. And hopefully MLF decides to throw their name in the hat for the kayak side of things and really help the kayak side, push forward. There's a like philosophy in the conservation. It makes total sense to me that they would throw their name in the ring, and it would be great for our industry to have more options out there on the professional side of things for the kayak. So in that vein, that's pretty much the stuff that's been going on, man. There hasn't been a lot of big news here in the last couple of weeks on the fishing side. It's kind of the off season, if you will. We're going to be soon, before you know it, the outdoor expos are going to be going on, and a lot of people are going to those. We really wanted to make it to the MPAA conference in Fort Myers, but unfortunately logistics again just aren't going to line up for us to really make that happen, to get down to Fort Myers in January. So nevertheless, we'll have the big outdoor expo that'll be coming to the Denver area here pretty soon. I'd love to get to that in some fashion or form. We'll have to see how that plays out. So other than that, that's the season we're in. Ice season right around the corner. Some guys are starting up. Of course, Clam Ice Armor Team Clam is out there, getting things done. Go check them out. Definitely, if you're into ice fishing, that's your stop, man. Ice Armor, Clam Outdoors. I mean, you don't get much more ice fishing than those guys, and that group over there knows their stuff. We got some cool interviews coming right around the corner here. I've got the library built up here. We're doing more interviews every week, and so we'll be dropping those. Next Monday, we'll have another interview up here. We're going to be talking to the Colorado Kayak Fishing Club, some board members there, some more anglers from the Colorado Kayak Bassmasters. We have those guys on deck to share. We got the Angler of the Year in both of those events to be able to share and chat with. That's super cool. We got an angler from a guy that I had an opportunity to meet due to the flat out hook. He is a smallmouth bass whisperer, Mr. Jordan Wellerman. We've got him coming down the line here. We're hoping to catch up with Jody Queen again for an off-season report there, just kind of chat with him about how last year went, what this year is looking like. So that should be super cool. We'll have to see if we can get that put together in the next few weeks here. So a lot of cool interviews coming down. Of course, I just mentioned Clam Outdoors. We got Matt Johnson that'll be joining us here. Super honored to have him on board with us. So that'll be a ton of fun to put out. And you should like a lot of those. The last thing I want to leave you with, folks, before we take off, if you've been following us on social media, it is November 28th. We have 2 days left on a special event that is taking place. And I wanted to give you a walkthrough on how easy this is. The work I do with the Romans Warrior Foundation is I am running the division called the RWF Warrior Field Ops Division. We are the outdoor events piece that's focused on recreational therapy. We provide, kayak fishing, any outdoor event that falls underneath that recreational therapy curriculum that can provide healing, provide some necessary experience for these warriors out there. That's what we're dedicated to do. Now we're young in our inception there. Romans has been around for many years, but the field ops, we were brand new just as of like last February when we put things down and got rolling. But through the work with Johnstown Shields and Shields Outdoors, we've been able, and of course New Canoe, Romans Warrior, Vicious Fishing has helped with this. Amped Outdoors has helped put our boots on the ground with that. 5x3 fishing has helped us on the social media tip many a times. We've had a lot of good help from supporter companies that are helping us get the word out about this work that we're doing. Well, one of the biggest impactful ways that you can help, if obviously, financial help's always accepted. Of course, that always is needed. But here's a way that you don't have to do a financial piece yourself, but you can help us because of the generosity of Shields in Johnstown, Colorado. Take you over to, just so you can see it firsthand here. Actually, here we go. All right. The post that I've been putting out here speaks about the Shields giving campaign of what they are putting out. Shields is donating $100,000 in the form of 20 $5,000 cash donations to local nonprofits within the northern Colorado community. Bottom line is we fall directly within that. The RWF Warrior Field Ops is Colorado based, and this is where we're at, and this is where we work. We're lining up with great organizations like Stanley Lake Regional Park. That's going to be our home waters to take these guys out on, so we always have access to some good, safe, fun fishing, and great, just a beautiful experience for these warriors so that they can truly take in the benefits of what it is to be out on the water and engaging, in that recreational therapy, piece, if you will. So this giving campaign that they're doing, it's literally simple 30-second maneuver. I'm going to take a little longer than 30 seconds to go through it, but I just wanted to show you this here. Here is the link. You're going to click on that link, and that is going to take you, let's just do it, and we'll see where it goes. Yeehaw. It's going to take you right to the Shields Johnstown's website here. The nominations are open. Literally right here is all you need to do is click on this to nominate your favorite nonprofit. When you click here, it's going to take you right to the form. You're going to fill out your name right here and your email address. That's it. Now I'm going to switch this just so you can see what the next page looks like. We'll just switch you over here. Okay, so there we go. So we switched over to this one here. So we're going to put in our name or our email. wolf72@gmail.com. Our full name is going to be Gene. And we're just going to say, I've already filled this out once, so it may not. Let's see if it lets. Okay, yeah, so it does. It's one vote per person. Okay, so if they see duplicate names coming through on the same email, they'll be able to track that it's one vote per person. What I wanted to bring you to this page for is that here are the drop down of all of these here. We had the honor and privilege to work with Allegiance Ranch last year and the Warrior Bonfire program on our social media channels to help push that project forward, so they got their list. As I said, we just got really sit down in January, February of last year, so we're not on this list yet. We will be next year. Right here is where you just type in RWF Warrior Field Ops and click next. Boom. It's that simple. It's literally that simple. We're going to clear this form and back out of this bad boy. So yeah, we'll get out of there. Shields Johnstown is unbelievably supportive of its local communities and all the nonprofits that are working out here. And this is something that we would absolutely love you to please consider, is going and following through you can hit any one of our Facebook pages there, be it at my personal page. You can go to the True Patriot Outfitters. We've got that listed there. And of course, the RWF Warrior Field Ops page has it listed there as well. If you don't know by now what Shields does out there, it is absolutely stunning. I mean, without Shields Colorado and Shields Johnstown working with us to really get this thing going, man, we would still be, looking to try to secure gear that, quite frankly, just wasn't up to our standards. Not only did Shields get us paddles and PFDs for our warriors to be in here, but big kudos to Caleb Zimmerman there at Shields and to Caitlin. These folks didn't just get us paddles and PFDs and safety flags and all the gear we need. They made sure they were solid quality ones. Dude, we don't just have, some El Cheapo PFDs for these warriors. It's important that you have the right safety equipment. And unfortunately, you kind of get what you pay for when it comes to PFDs. You really do out there. I run not a cheap PFD that I wear personally, but I got to tell you, the performance and the trust piece on the safety of this is the NRS Chinook. it is, you buy once and you're done, man. This thing is phenomenal. And we have very similar quality PFDs for our warriors to wear when they go out there. I want to know they're in good equipment and they're being taken care of when they come out and spend time with us at the field ops. And that was because of Shields. Shields made that happen. They got us really good paddles that fit the Unlimited really, really well for folks. The safety flags that are Yak Attack safety flags, they're some of the best flags with stern lights on them that you can get a hold of out there, and it's phenomenal to be able to have that kind of support from one of your local bigger companies that's out there. They may be big in footprint, but I'll tell you what, and they're absolutely huge in the heart department, but these folks operate like a hometown store that's part of the community. I mean, and you when you walk through that store in Johnstown and you talk to the employees or you see the employees, you get, these folks are from this community. This is home to them. And making sure that you have a solid experience when you're at Shields is their top priority. And that's what they want from price, products, customer service, you name it. And the way they support that giving campaign piece, man, I'm telling you, the way they support us here, this is a big deal. Go take that 30 seconds, go through here, click on this, make a big old deposit in the Karma Bank. Just taking that 30 seconds to give us your vote for RWF Warrior Field Ops by writing our name in, you're going to help us be able to secure that $5,000. We've got 2 days left to get this done. This is a big, big deal. We need your help with that for sure. That is something that the more votes we get with that, the better. I want to show them just how important the field ops is in northern Colorado and in all of Colorado, and so they give us an opportunity to really put that on display for 2023. We're hoping to really take it out a whole new door next year. So, folks, that's going to be it for this edition of the True Patriot Outfitters podcast. We're going to go ahead and wrap this bad boy up here. We've got a little bit of traveling, more family time coming up around the corner, but we're going to keep going with this Monday release of podcasts. I have a feeling come January we might move to every 2 weeks. We're going to drop the episodes, but we'll see. We'll see how our library looks there and what we can get saved up. I'm literally recording this on the Monday, so this is closest to live as I've ever been, and we're going to put this through the production and get it sent out the door here within a matter of probably about an hour or so. But yeah, we'll keep this stuff going here. We got the holiday season coming up, so that should be a ton of fun. We're looking forward to sharing some holiday stuff, hopefully some more cool news. And December 2nd is when we're going to find out if we were awarded one of those nominations for the Shields giving campaign there, in which case that is going to be tremendous. That is going to be super, super big for us. So hopefully we can get that, we can share that good news there. And if not, that just means we'll have to try harder next year to really gather that support. But we'll see how that all pans out and how that goes. Folks, as always, your love, your support, following along with us, man, it means everything. I don't have the words for it. It's what keeps us rolling. And hopefully the work we're doing on the fishing side is entertaining, and hopefully the work we're doing with the field ops is fulfilling to a lot of folks, seeing that there are patriots out there that are willing to step forward and do what we need to do. If you're looking to volunteer, man, we can always use volunteers. If you're a kayak angler, a bass angler, if you're just any kind of fisherman or outdoors, or if you're none of those, if you just want to volunteer, if you have an organization that you would like us to come speak with, we do a lot of speaking with kids organizations and such when it comes to outdoor conservation and other areas that are involved in competitive fishing, and of course our nonprofit work that we do, the work that we do with Romans Warrior Foundation. All this stuff, we're available for that. Just reach out to us here, DM us on any of the social channels, email, Google the True Patriot Outfitters or GC Fishing. If you Google that, you'll find our phone number right out there, and there we are. So, as always, folks, smash that subscribe button. We can use the help on the YouTube front. And as always, tight lines, be safe. 1, 2,